Welcome back,
Welcome back,
dear
you guys.
nerds. We have a bit of a hot topic.
We have a very hot topic. So, last week, my ex, a man I dated many years ago, his name's Bill Posley, and his friend and fellow comedian, Stephen Randolph,
Both very brilliantly funny comedians.
hilariously funny, released a clip where they were talking about Bill working at a secret Starbucks location below the city of Los Angeles, in an area called the Actorbahn, where it is a secret. It's a series of secret tunnels where actors can drive.
A-list actors.
A-list actors can drive. That, and he says that is why you never see actors in traffic. But he was saying that he had signed an NDA, which had expired, and he was saying that he worked at one of the Starbucks in the tunnels.
This was blowing my mind.
Blowing my mind. Okay, so here's the thing. This happened while we were dating. Because while we were dating, he did work at Starbucks. But there were some weird things. So, first of all, he worked at Starbucks. I knew that because he had a Starbucks uniform.
Yes.
He didn't have a car at the time.
It was in the valley, right?
It was in the valley.
I remember you telling me about this.
Okay, so he worked at a Starbucks in the valley. It was deep in
The
the
valley.
And there were so many times where I was like, oh, let me come to your work and say hi. And he's like, oh my God, it's so far. It's so deep in the valley. Don't even worry.
Like a good friend, I was like, he's cheating on you.
Yeah. She's very, very honest and upfront. And I was like, you know what, he probably was. And he
Let me
kind
just
of
tell
was-
you, the wind will blow and I will accuse a friend's boyfriend of cheating.
Yeah, everybody. Every man is cheating. And he would go to work. He would either take the bus there. So he would take the bus from where we lived to the subway stop at Highland and Hollywood. There was a subway stop there. So, and then he would go deep into the valley to the job. There were some times where I would drop him off. So I know that he for sure was taking the subway to the valley.
You'd drop him off
Because I
at the
would
subway.
drop him off. He would either take
The bus?
the bus to that subway stop, or I would drive him there. So I 100% know that he was going to the valley. I don't know where in the valley. Now, in the video, he talks about how, I don't know if I've since talked to him, and he was like, yeah. I would go to the Universal City stop. I would get off at the Universal City stop, because that's where one of the entry points was.
What?
And I was like, this is so crazy.
Like on the Universal lot?
And I was like, I don't know. I'm still like not sure.
They're doing a bit.
But here are all the things that add up and don't add up. He did work at Starbucks. And when I would ask him if he could bring me leftover food home, he always said he couldn't bring home leftover food, which is not true. Because if you work at Starbucks, you can bring home leftover food.
You can? Wait, how many Starbucks employees have you hounded
I
for their leftover
I know
food?
people who've worked at Starbucks.
Okay.
So he was saying you can't. He was like, oh, I can't bring home leftover food.
Sorry, I can't take the caviar out of the celebrity Starbucks.
So I'm thinking there was probably a different menu down there.
Yeah,
They
so-
probably didn't. So if he came home with this, I would be like, what is this? Where is this from?
yeah, probably really fresh pastries or something.
Probably.
Like
There's
fancy.
probably like fresh baked goods down there. So he wouldn't bring home anything for me. He would bring home coffee though. So the coffee, I'm assuming, was the same. Celebrities get the same coffee we do. So he would always bring home coffee. By the way, his apron, he would come home and his apron would never, because he would have an apron
covered in
and
jizz.
covered in celebrity A-list jizz, which honestly is like creme fraiche. It's a delicacy.
Oh, is that a Brad Pitt?
Is that an Oscar? Is that a Tony?
Right, is this EGOT?
Yeah. I mean,
his career did take off after that.
his career did take off after that. Bill's career, the second we broke up, he stopped working at Starbucks. I mean, I really am the lucky charm, honestly.
Can we date so we can break up and my career
absolutely.
continue?
Yeah, I will just
Let's
dub
just
me.
date and have and break up and then our podcast will
And
take
take
off.
Yeah. We're dating now.
We're
you
dating
guys.
and we look like Starbucks employees.
Yeah, by the way, we decided this would be really cute if we wore matching green jumpsuits. So here we are.
Here we are.
Okay, wait. So what else?
Okay,
what were
wait.
the other things that were?
Oh,
that
sorry. What was his apron actually covered in before I made it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not a crumb.
There wasn't a crumb. There wasn't a stain. Nothing. And if there's one thing we both know, having worked in the food service industry,
You don't avoid.
You don't come home unscathed.
All the time, especially.
All the
Yeah,
time.
no, that's weird.
So what I'm thinking is he just had this Starbucks uniform, and then when he got there, he had a special uniform
like a
that he
cover.
put on there that was nicer than the traditional like green apron.
It was just a gimp costume. There's a
ball
Starbucks
and gag.
under the city.
And
It's a sex
It's just
dungeon.
celebrities just get to fucking dog walk him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
I mean, that's probably what he's into. I mean, according to the tabloids, that is what Will and Jada are into, which is kinky shit.
No,
If there's one thing we know about Bill Posley, into kinky shit. So, yeah, I don't know. So many people have messaged me. The amount of people who have been like,
I
wasn't
messaged
this
you.
right? You messaged me. Every single person was like, is this true? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I was like, I remember him working at a Starbucks.
He was very secretive about it. And that's part of, by the way, when you did say he's cheating on you. So at one point I was like, oh, he is cheating on me. Like,
Honestly, I would take him cheating on you over hiding a celebrity Starbucks.
hiding not only a celebrity
For my
Starbucks,
own selfish reasons,
but
I'm sorry.
in an area called the Actor Bond.
Yeah. What kind of cars were on there? Also, now I'm wondering, do celebrities hang out at Starbucks? Just Tom Cruise, he's like writing Mission Impossible 8.
Yeah, he's right. He's working on a script down there.
And then I jump out of a helicopter.
No, I did that in the last one. I jump out of an airplane. No, I did that in the last one.
We're going to need a spaceship.
I'm going to jump out of a spaceship. Let's do this
Jumping
all
from
the way.
space. How would that work? You'd have to swim
burn
in
up,
through the
you'd die.
atmosphere.
You'd
Yeah, I
burn
guess you
up
do
and
burn
die.
up through the
Yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah.
I guess that is what has killed people coming through the atmosphere.
Yeah. So,
How do they do that?
in any case,
The saga continues.
I'm not sure. Bill did say they were going to be releasing another episode where they talked more about it because there was so much intrigue. So follow Bill Posley and Stephen Randolph. They're on TikTok and on Instagram for more about the Actor Bond. I just think it's crazy that this, by the way, has blown up.
Yeah, it was exploding.
There's I think they're up to 20 million views on TikTok.
I cannot imagine the
But
people in those comments.
The comment section is wild. People are like, I'm willing to accept a lot of things, but not the fact that there's a secret road system called the Actor Bond.
I'm just like, dude, if we have an earthquake, they just have tunnels beneath us. Imagine your house, the floor opens up, and then you fall into a Starbucks, and Margot Robbie's there getting a frap, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Especially in the valley. That's bad earthquake territory.
I mean, it's terrible. By the way, so I'm guessing the tunnels actually run the extent, he had referenced this, they run all the way to LAX. That is why you never see celebrities
at LAX.
You see the paparazzi seeing them, and you see them get into a car quickly.
This is 100%.
And then that car drives into a tunnel.
Nate took a flight to New Orleans today. He's helping me with my comedy special. He flew Delta Airlines, first class. And I want to preface this by saying I will never stop being mad at him for not trying to strike up a conversation.
Who do you see?
Not just who he saw. Who
Who'd
he
he
sat
sit-
right next to.
No, who?
He's looking out the window in first class in a Porsche SUV.
Drives
pulls up,
right up
drives
to the gate.
right up to the gate. Where did it come from?
It came from the Actor Bond.
And you'll never guess who got out and sat right next to him on the plane.
Who? Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Here's the hint. She spent the entire flight in a bucket hat and sunglasses. Like a sun hat and sunglasses.
I don't know.
I know, it's ridiculous. Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my God, incredible.
And at some point, he's like, you can tell that she, obviously, because she got driven up on the runway, she's Jennifer Coolidge, but he's like, just the way that she was acting on the plane, like, there's such a, there's first class, but then there's this other level in American Airlines, it's concierge key. I know that because I see their little entrance that they have, or they're pretending to have, apparently, from the, arrivals or departures. It's whatever that is for Delta. Delta One, I think is what it's called. But at some point, she goes, I'm a little chilly on the plane. And the stewardess, flight attendant, whatever, comes over and adjusts her air for her. And he was like, I think it was her. And I was like, she went, I was like, of course that's her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No one is more themselves
than Jennifer Coolidge. I'm chilly.
And I was like, you didn't say hello?
By the way, she has a house in New Orleans. You can Google where you can see into it. It is the most stunning townhouse in New Orleans. She lives in New Orleans, yeah. So when you're there for your special, how crazy is it that you saw her? That's why she was flying there.
He just was like, she must be filming something
No,
there.
she lives there.
Oh my God. This has validated my desire to move to New Orleans, even though Nate will never get on board. I also just realized the air just went off, which means we never turned the air off, but...
It's fine. You still heard us loud and clear talking about what we were talking about, right? Great.
Yeah, celebrities sneaking around, living in New Orleans behind our backs.
I mean, behind our backs. By the way, you have to Google when you're
You think I'm not gonna stand outside her house?
You're gonna say anything to her? You're just playing the theme song to White Lotus. You're like,
Just get shot.
I don't know. Yeah, you just
Say, get her off the lawn. She's upsetting me.
Get her out of here.
Yeah, honey,
Everybody
no.
does an impression of Jennifer Coolidge, and it's so funny to me.
I know.
She's so imitatable.
Yeah, and I love her.
Dude, Becky Robinson, she had a show at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills. And
Amazing.
they did her hair, and she looked like Jennifer Coolidge. And she looked like Jennifer Coolidge so much to the point where she's like, yeah, they gave me the Jennifer Coolidge.
That's
like,
so funny.
I don't think she realized, like, that when they were, like, blowing out her hair, that it was going to look that much like Jennifer Coolidge.
Okay, time to get on stage.
And she does a really good impression
She does a great
of her.
impression.
Great impression of her. But she came out looking so much like her. I was just like, she's like a young Jennifer Coolidge. It's so crazy.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Her fans are fucking wild.
Her fans are absolutely the most unhinged people on the planet. I couldn't love it more. I would kill for her fan base.
I wish I had fans like that.
I mean, the rich. Her fans
They're
are
buying all the merch.
All the merch. I've never seen a merch line like that in my life. Becky made a joke. She's like, somebody said to her, they were like, yeah, like, your career was, you made a whole career out of a character. She's like, no, I built a whole life on visors. Like, they literally, she's like, my whole house was paid for by visors. She just bought a house in
Pacific Palisades or Malibu or something?
Out there
fucking
somewhere.
One of the fancy...
What's the city where the Kardashians live?
Hidden Hills?
No.
Calabasas.
Calabasas. So she's in the Calabasas area. And it's like she bought a fucking dope-ass house because of visor money. Anyway,
we need a thing.
We're going to go try to figure out how to pay down debt. In the meantime, let's get to the book.
Let's get to the book.
All right, you guys.
It's getting crazy.
It's popping off. It's popping off.
Tasks are coming.
We're getting to the tasks, the big events. By the way.
And if anything Nicole loves, I don't think there's anything she loves more than that's what I was trying to do. You guys get it. We don't have to say the jokes. You get what we're going
I love
for.
more than an assignment.
Yeah.
Did you, when you used to get the assignment sheet at the beginning of the week for school, were you always just like, oh yeah, fucking,
I was just always like, I'm going to forget something.
Oh no, assignment sheets, I was like, we're locked in. This to-do list.
Yeah.
The assignment
you
list is your
jizz
first
over
foray into
syllabus.
Oh, I love a syllabus.
I wouldn't be surprised if you make a syllabus for your
syllabi.
wife. You know what, actually?
I'm still bisexual.
Hello.
Hello. Dad jokes, mom jokes, gay jokes.
School jokes. And we don't like gay at school. This is Florida.
You can't be gay in school.
You should make you know what I think you should do is make a syllabus for your year.
Yeah.
And I bet that would, I don't know what it would do.
Nothing.
Instead of just goals, make it a syllabus.
The syllabi. So yeah, I did love that very much. But so her first task, she's kind of just dropped into this crazy rowdy room.
Crazy, like
muddy, filthy. Fairies are going fucking nuts.
It's like a rodeo, but gay.
By the way, it's like a rodeo, but gay? Already gay. This whole scene kind of had a Harry Potter vibe to me.
The worm and
the worm, but the whole games.
Yeah,
felt
like one of the
what was the book? Fuck.
Is it the third one?
Yeah,
they have all the chess pieces, and then they have to.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always something
like this. The different events, the different anyway.
Oh no, 4. You're talking about the Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. That's what it was.
Oh,
yes.
My favorite book. How did I fuck that up?
This has Goblet of Fire vibes to me.
She doesn't even have a muffin top. Sit on my lap.
Go. You have to go to the fupa.
Come here.
Go to the fupa.
Come to your fat mom.
Go to your.
Come to thick mommy.
She's like, but you're both wearing green. Who's my mom?
Are we shaped like a number 10?
That's funny. I do think the physical disparity between us is how short you are and how tall I am, and we just couldn't be more different.
I do think I should gain 30 pounds, and then we'll be real Abbott and Costello.
I mean,
Abbott
honestly,
cut
in this business, you can't be in between sizes. You have to be.
No, it's like I need to gain 50 pounds or 50 pounds.
Yeah, you need to be wickedly thin or just a big old chunk of cheese.
Yeah, no one likes average.
So, anyway, so she is thrown down. Amaranth is there. Tamlin's there. Obviously, still not registering any emotion at all whatsoever.
Yeah, is he on sedatives? We don't know.
And there's all the other High Lords are there. And all of a sudden, she just drops into this maze. And, immediately, the way Feyre starts describing the maze is she's, kind of, remembering. She's like, these are things I'm going to need to know. I'm going to need to know how to get around this maze.
Very trying to memorize everything.
And then...
I would never do that, by the way.
Never. I would just be like...
No, I'd just be like, oh, God, it smells like shit in here.
It smelled like shit. It smelled like death, rotting mud. She was like knee deep in mud, which to me, I'm just like, at that point, I would have just been like, oh, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. You can't move that well. And then all of a sudden, a worm comes out.
Not giant.
But a giant that, by the way she described it in the book sounds like it's a fleshlight with teeth.
Oh my God, yes. Or like, do you remember, there was a period of time where we would all go back and forth. Were you part of this? Just putting one of those plastic dicks? They were like jiggly dicks. Maybe that was just Dana.
That might have just been you.
They were just loose jiggly dicks. We'd like leave them in each other's stuff.
Oh, that was definitely not me.
Like
I would never forget a loose jiggly
They were
dick.
flaccid dildos, honestly. It's like, I don't know what they were for or where we got them. And now I'm concerned. But yeah, I just pictured like a flaccid dick.
Yeah.
Fangs.
So the way they just described it, it was just like, just a giant wormy gaping hole. I'm like, oh, it's a fleshlight with teeth.
That's so funny.
Yeah, just carve open the fleshlight a little bit more so there's even more like room to put your dick.
1,000% when this movie, film, show, whatever comes out, men are gonna think about the fact that they would put their dick in there.
Oh, 1,000%.
Men will be sitting there with their girlfriends, their friends, their family thinking, I wonder what that would feel like.
Honestly, there's dudes out there who love a teethy blowjob.
Maybe that's why I'm good at blowjobs.
Yeah, little fucking...
I've always wondered, like...
I'll be honest, every now and then, if I'm giving a blowjob, I like to throw a little teeth in there to let them know who's boss, you know?
I try to avoid it, but when I think about the anatomy of my mouth, it doesn't make sense that I'm not constantly teething. Like,
Yeah.
I have big teeth in a small mouth. It's just not possible.
I'm teething. Anywho, so... Farah's running from this worm, and she realizes the worm is blind.
Blind. At some point, she's like...
She hides in a crack. It goes right by her, and she's like, "Da fuck?" And then she's like, by the way, the deductive reasoning of this girl to figure out that the worm is blind is absolutely impressive to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. I'd be too busy diarrheaing in my pants.
Yeah, I'd be shitting in my pants, which are probably already full of shit because I've been in the mud that is shit mud.
Yeah, is that even mud, or is it just shit from all the people that have been dropped in there?
Every single person who gets dropped in there just immediately
diarrheas.
shits themselves. So she eventually falls into this hole, and she realizes that's like the worm's den.
Yeah, where it like goes down to fucking...
To feed.
Well, because she reaches around and realizes like
It's just all bones.
Bones everywhere.
Now, at this point, Farah starts to like formulate a plan.
Yeah.
And she's like, if I can lure the worm back.
Yeah. Well, first she couldn't think of how to get out.
First she couldn't think of how to get out, but she was trying to climb the wall and she was using like the bones.
She used
like,
bones, and I
to
think
get
that's
up.
when she realized, like,
She's
wait
like,
a second.
oh, I can use these spiky parts, and she just makes an entire layout of broken bones for the worm to impale itself on.
She just goes around snapping femurs.
Snapping femurs.
And putting them up.
Not easy to snap a femur.
Also, the fact that she is now banking on getting this worm to notice her, chasing her back, and like being able to outrun it.
Yeah.
And then also, she's going to dive in this pit and has to land
not on the stakes that she's made.
She's made all these like impaling stakes.
Yeah. So basically, she gets out of the hole. She climbs out like she plans.
I also
cuts herself so she starts bleeding.
Yeah, I also love that she's in the hole so long, and Amaranth is like, "Come out! We're getting bored." And it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Amarantha
You're a rodeo clown.
Amarantha is a perfect villain. Amarantha and Nesta are both just proper bitches.
Such cunt.
And Joffrey. So that's a threesome I would love to see. Amarantha, Nesta, and Joffrey. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. For a villain threesome.
Oh, I mean, my God. Just.
Do you know what I just found out? Do you know what it's called when someone has a threesome and it's two men and a woman?
Is it something besides an Eiffel Tower?
It's called the devil's threesome.
Oh, what? Because it's not a sin if it's two women being gay?
No. Two dicks. Devil's threesome. I call that a spit roast.
I just call it the Eiffel Tower.
I call it fun.
Because they lean over each other and do the high fives.
And they're like, fuck these bitches. Uh-oh, there she goes.
No,
stay
with
your
down.
mother.
Stay.
Okay, so she puts the blood on her. When at one point she's running through the maze, and Lucian, she didn't know what direction to go, and Lucian's like, go left!
Which is like big time risking your life.
Big time
risking
your life.
we blasted past the fact that at the beginning, as she's getting dropped down, she can hear the exchanging of coins between fairies. Like, these people are betting on her life.
Yeah.
And how long it's going to take her to die.
I'm going to be honest. It's like, did you watch Squid Game?
Yes.
It's like Squid Game. This is like a Squid Game.
It is very Squid Game.
You're betting on who's going to live or die.
Yeah.
So people are betting on her. Everybody, we find out that
there was
only
one
person bet for her to win.
Yeah.
And we'll find that out in the next chapter. But anyway, she lures it into the pit. It impales itself. Genius. And then,
fact
by
that
the way,
she-
she fucked up her arm really bad.
Yeah. Oh,
She didn't realize how bad it was fucked up, and then she's like in, extreme agony.
Yeah. Turns out it's hard to tell how much pain you're in when your adrenaline is through the roof and you're covered in the smell of feces. Because that was the
Yeah.
other thing too. To try to disguise herself until she got close to him to open the blood, she like rolled around in the shit.
I mean, yeah. She's a huntress, dude. Like this was one of those chapters where I was just like, yeah, Feyre's badass. We love her.
Yeah. No. In a million years, I wouldn't have thought to do this. I would have laid down and died
I was
so
thinking
quickly.
about that. I was thinking about that. I would have just been like, we're done.
You know what? If I somehow realized he was blind, I maybe would have rolled around in the shit, and that's about as far as I would have just lived there, hiding from him and shit
I would have been like,
eternity.
let me snap some bones.
Yeah, this game would have gone on for centuries.
Centuries, yeah.
I mean, just die of old age.
Yeah, die of old age. I mean, according to Feyre, she didn't have much longer to live because she's immortal.
I mean, yeah, it's a blink of an eye for these fairy people.
So, next chapter.
Yes.
She's alone in her cell. She is sick. She is dying.
She is 100% sure her break and her wounds are infected and death is
She's not doing well. And then Rhysand
appears
with his dazzling purple eyes shows up and he's like, hey,
the cloud of dark.
Thank you so much. You made me so much money.
So rich.
He was the guy who bet on her winning.
Weird.
And at that point, we're all like, oh my God, this is like the guy who you think is the bad guy.
But maybe he's not.
Maybe he's the good guy.
But then also, is it like, I mean, like when I first read this, what I really was like, is this like a cat playing with its food type of thing?
So there was that
where he just wants to watch her go to the no. The next one's even worse. You know what I mean?
I think upon reading it the first time, obviously I know where this was going, but I think upon reading it the first time, I was like, oh, he's got a thing for her. She's badass.
I mean,
and I feel like if there's one thing, like he might not have had a thing for her originally, but I think after she kicked ass in the first one, I think after he saw her fighting spirit, period.
How can you not?
How can you not be like, I got a thing for the girl?
I mean,
also
the fact that he didn't like the Claire Better thing.
Yeah,
weird.
But it's just like the fact that he's got beef with Tamlin, and the fact that he's like being sweet to her to spite Tamlin is like, I kind of like it. It's such toxic behavior. We talked about this. It's like we in our lives, in our day-to-day, we're like, this toxic piece of male shit.
Yeah, the way
us today would never put up with toxic shit. But in fairyland, we're like,
yeah, if you're shredded and have wings, beat me.
Yeah. Spit in my face.
Literally call me a dumb bitch.
Do anything but give me respect. And I will love you forever.
He's the one.
To beat me to death.
But
I can't wait.
It's also an interesting thing to raise up the fact that, like, he has this beef with Tamlin. Because I think from the first time we see him, it's very obviously that beef, whatever it is, goes back a long time. So I do think when I was first reading this, my thought was, does he, like, it felt like he has a thing, but then I was like, is he trying to lure her over only because of Tamlin? Like, as a fuck you.
Also, is there a component where him and Lucian, like when they were talking shit about him, is it just because he's, Amarantha's whore?
Yeah.
Was this a personal thing that predates Amaranth?
Or was this a thing? Like a sellout?
Yeah, he's a sellout.
But I don't know if it's like, at this point, we don't know, is he a sellout? Is it like the Night Court is evil? Which they sure make it sound like the Night Court is so fucking scary.
So scary. So, speaking of the Night Court, he says to her, he's like, hey, I will fix your arm. If you spend, after all of this, if you win and you make it out alive, you have to spend 1 week.
2 weeks. He said 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks every month with me at the Night Court.
At the Night Court.
And she's like, no.
No.
Absolutely not.
And she literally was like, I will die.
Yeah, she's like, I would rather die. And then she realizes, like,
she's going to die.
She's going to die. So it's like, and she remembered Alice being like, don't listen to anyone. Don't trust anyone.
Fairies, unless your life depends on it. And as he's like, by the way, turns into dark and is seeping out.
Yeah.
She's like, wait, hang on.
Wait. I think she also realizes, like I can't help Tamlin, like, if I'm dead.
And she loves Tamlin, obviously. She wants to help him. So
she's like, let me make this bargain.
And I think she was thinking...
she goes, I'll give you 5 days. Yeah. She bargains with him, and he's like, a week, but I love your bargaining spirit. That's the thing that fucking gets me about Tamlin. he's like poking and prodding her and she's getting feisty back and he's just like, men really do love bitches.
You just called Rhysand Tamlin.
Oh, sorry.
Get her!
Get her. Someone come for me.
Men, I don't know if men love bitches. I think that is a book that was I don't know why that took off. I think the woman who wrote that book happened to be left for a bitch. I think that guy had mom issues. I really think too many women have read that book and think I'll be a bitch and are alone.
Yeah.
And we should sue that woman. Men like fucking women who roll over and... Just kidding.
Suck their... Give him a
fight the worm!
Toothy blowjob. So she agrees. They agree. They make a bargain.
Yeah.
He grabs her arm. He repairs it. But when he pulls his hand away after repairing it, she's got this tattoo on her arm with an eye tattooed.
It's like a permanent marking of like a whole... picture a whole sleeve.
Yeah, I
right?
picture like a stunning tattoo
Yeah,
sleeve.
just like intricate.
So hot.
And then an eyeball.
On the palm of her hand.
Which... As these...
Very reminiscent of Amarantha's ring with Jurian's eye.
That's true. You're giving the finger.
So there's an eye thing. First of all, there's Lucian's eye. I love that eye is just like a continual theme.
Yeah, it's like, is this a Sarah J. Maas like fetish type? Is this a thing that it's like people have? I imagine it's like probably like visual artists, like painters or even songwriters. There's always something similar that constantly pops up. She just gets stuck on eyes.
Eyes are kind of like the all-knowing thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's the evil eye.
Yeah, the evil eye. But yeah, so she's like, hey,
what the fuck is this?
What is this? And he's like, you're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, he's basically like, oh, at the night court, we always mark our
conquests or something.
Or their bargains.
Yeah.
They mark their bargains. Which is just, now I'm picturing everyone in the night court just covered in tattoos. Like, if I was in the night court, I'm so dumb because I would always need help. Everything, even if it wasn't, because I know my anxiety, everything feels like a life and death situation. I would have tattoos around my face. It would just be like my eyeballs.
You'd bargain for everything. Oh, you'd have nothing. You'd be fully tattooed. You'd be like,
I think I'm dying.
You'd be like Richie the barber. Have you ever seen the guy on Melrose who's fully tattooed, face tattooed?
And it's all just because I had anxiety about valet parking.
Oh, I thought you were going to say somebody didn't get hugged enough.
Yeah, that too. In real life.
But I also love at the end when Rhysand's like, oh man, I can't wait to shove this in Tamlin's face.
Oh my God.
He is just listlessly a dickbag. But there's, then there's the part of me that just loves a toxic man at this point.
God.
That I'm just like, yeah, fucking make him jealous.
Does Lucian show up in this chapter?
No. Lucian shows up in the next one.
Okay, well, is that it for this chapter?
No, that's it for this chapter. And on to chapter 38.
Oh my God.
These chapters are very short. They're moving quick. They're hauling ass.
And by the way, we're gonna bring this up in a bigger way, but I'm just gonna plant it right here. Mm-hmm. In the next book, we're gonna do bigger chunks. We're too ravenous.
No one's reading this slowly. Like even us, where it's like we're doing 3 chapters per episode, and we're often recording 2 episodes at a time.
It's too much minutia. It's like more fun to talk about the big themes.
We want broad strokes.
Yeah, we're not smart enough to get to the intricate.
Also, if you want nitty gritty, there are podcasts that do nitty gritty.
Yeah,
we're fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we're fun. We're talking shit. Okay, we want to talk shit. We don't want to go over nitty gritty details. We're going to continue to do so
for the rest of this book. And we're still going to bring them in. But
next book, we're going to pop the fuck off.
We're doing like quarters and we're getting fucking wild. Anyway.
Shit's getting crazy. We're wearing costumes.
We're wearing costumes?
Nope.
I will come in a costume.
I'll wear
you fucking lie and pretend we're wearing costumes and you show up in a cute outfit I'm dressed as a fucking ham.
First episode of the next book, we're wearing costumes.
All right.
Whatever, we just need costumes. I don't even care what they look like. We're wearing costumes.
You come in a full fairy costume, and I'm just dressed as a chicken for no reason.
Oh, just like a chicken nugget. You look like
you're like, what is this?
A McDonald's
I didn't know we were
supposed
to be themed costumes.
Yeah, I didn't know it was supposed to be like a sexy fairy kind of shit. We need to do for the first episode of the next book, whatever our interpretation, like if we were to be a fairy, what we would look like dressed as a fairy.
Great.
So have fun. Do with it what you will. You can wear pink if you want.
I show up in blackface, and you're like, what is that? I'm like, no, it's not.
I'm just in
night
the
court.
Okay, chapter 38. So as we learned earlier, Amarantha was like, you're going to have to do chores around here.
Chores.
So the next chapter opens up on her scrubbing the hallway with a bucket of dirty water.
Yeah, and they're basically like, if we come back and this floor isn't clean, you're going to be... I don't know what it is. It's just fed to the demons.
Yes, you're going to be like, you're in deep shit.
Tortured.
And there's something magical about this water where it will not get clean. So she's
mopping
and mopping
dirtier
and mopping.
And dirtier.
And nothing's working. And then the lady of the autumn court, who is
Lucian's mom.
She comes
appears.
by and she's like, hey, I just want to say thank you for, like, saving my son by giving your name.
Yeah, because back when Amarantha wanted to know her name, as you remember, they threw Lucian to the ground and were like...
They were going to fuck up Lucian.
Yeah, and his fucking shithead brothers were there like, yeah, get him! And she's like, I'm Farah!
They're 80s villains from...
Oh, yeah.
80s
like high
movies
school...
villains. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. They'll rape a bitch behind a dumpster. Like, that's who they are. They're the Stanford swim team.
Yeah.
Stanford,
that
Duke,
stuff has always blown my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one... This is the thing I think about all the time when these news stories come out. It's one thing when one person is a monster. The fact that someone was like, hey, what if we all did this? And people were like, yeah. That's crazy.
Group thought is dangerous.
It's fucking... That's why I don't like groups or thinking.
Or neither. We'll do none of that.
We will do none of that here.
None of that. No, it went to sleep. Hold on.
Oh, no. Don't reveal the password.
Oh, my God. It'll take me 10 years to remember it. Okay, so she comes by, and so in exchange for what she did for her son, she gives her a clean bit of water.
She cleans the water so that Farah then can clean the floor. She's like, my debt is paid. And I would just like to point out, she could have just fucking cleaned the floor.
Yeah.
You're a fairy with magic. Yeah, fairy. Just clean the fucking floor.
Yeah, make everything clean. Don't make it so that she still has to do work, bitch.
You fucking... I saved your son's life. And you're just like, here's a magic eraser. Good luck. Fuck you.
Fairies.
This is autumn. Cunts. It's like the beginning of seasonal depression. They can't be trusted.
They truly can't.
It's truly just cannot. Everyone's constantly
Also, she made a bunch of shitty sons. It's not
terrible
bad
sons.
People come from bad people.
But I bet
apples
she looks
don't
like
fall
you.
far from trees.
She's a redhead.
Yeah, she's a redhead. I will be playing her.
Oh my God. So that's Sarah?
Sarah J. Maas.
Let Nicole play the Lady of the Autumn Court.
So the next day, Farah's next task. By the way, this makes me laugh so hard. They put her in this chamber.
They're like, someone's room. As if it's a fucking hotel, by the way.
They're like, you've got this room that has a fireplace, and somehow mixed into the fireplace and in the ashes in the fireplace are lentils.
But didn't they say the person staying here spilled lentils?
Yeah, and they're like, you're gonna have to have this done before they come back.
She has to get the lentils out of the ash, or they'll skin her alive.
I'm just like, lentils? Sarah J. Maas, what were you eating when you wrote this?
Yeah, it's also, I'm sorry, if I'm a fairy and you think I'm eating lentils, no. I'm eating double Western bacon cheeseburgers and running spells on myself to have abs. Are you out of your fucking mind? Lentils?
That's the clip. That's the clip right there. Truly, that's it. Let's just clip it. Signed, sealed, that's it.
I mean...
Getting abs.
And also who's like...
Just a fairy's klutzy with his lentils.
And threw them into the fire.
By the way, I am imagining, like, red lentils.
Oh, I was imagining...
The green lentils?
Like the green,
poopy colored lentils.
Mixing with
because those would be hard to get out. Yeah. But in my mind, I was like, it can't be that hard. And then I was like, yeah, it's probably the shit colored lentils.
Yeah, but also it's like they clearly keep like regenerating or something. Yeah. It's a scam.
Yeah, it's the same way the water never got clean.
It's like you're not going to get out of
You're never getting the lentils out.
And then who walks in?
And it turns out this chamber belonged to Rhysand.
So let me tell you something. It pays to sleep with the person in charge.
Yeah, it really
I don't know. Also, by the way, where are the rest of these people sleeping? Is it like a fairy Holocaust bunker? Like where?
I think it's a fairy Holocaust
bunker.
Like
that's crazy.
By the way, I didn't say this earlier, but the part where they're all like cheering like before the task feels very Mad Max. Did you watch Mad Max?
No.
Okay, you have to watch Mad Max.
Don't shame me.
Very reminiscent of Mad Max, and I know some of our listeners will know this reference immediately, but it definitely has like Thunderdome experience.
Yeah,
a Thunderdome feeling.
Well, then part of me is just like, or do they just live in those rafters and they don't go anywhere? Because
that's probably where they live. I mean, first of all, I'm like, wait, are these fairies who are actually on Amarantha's side?
Because they're
and like, where did they go? No sense. Where did they go? Where did they go? Eventually, you know what? Then we'll get to this later.
Yeah, because it's just like, wouldn't you guys want her to win?
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Why are you cheering?
You know what? There must be.
Or it might be just a lot of Stockholm syndrome.
That's true. But there also may be people who at this point are like, you know what? At this point, maybe if we join her side, we'll get treated better. Maybe if we just, what am I going to do?
If you can't beat them,
fight the Nazis?
Yeah.
I don't have a gun.
Resistance? Never. So Rhysand is
For the record, I would have resisted the Nazis. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be dead because she didn't resist the Nazis.
And I'd be like, I'm not a Jew, I'm blonde.
Look at how blonde I am.
Avita St. Nicole,
it's a bit of a bottle blonde, but yes, I am a blonde.
No way.
And this is I mean, come on, you wouldn't have been able to afford a house with an attic to put me in. I'd be in your fucking floorboards.
Yeah, and it would be your own fault when you got caught because you'd go, it's too hot down here.
I'd be like, it's hot, I'm hungry, can I get a snack? I would definitely need a snack.
Are the Nazis gone? I need a sandwich.
I'd be down there just eating bread and butter, because bread and butter's big in Europe.
Yeah, you're hiding you're hiding in the basement with a bunch of other Jews, and the Nazis just hear someone go,
and then I go, God, I gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah. I get caught by the Nazis because of diarrhea. Oh, for sure.
Just like, is there anyone else in here? No. That was me.
What? What was that? It's good?
I'm sort of like a fart ventriloquist. I throw them.
I throw my farts.
That was my butt too. Anyways, this is...
I'll be honest, I kind of pooped in my pants over the weekend. It's another story.
What? Oh.
I'll share it another time.
All right. Well, damn it.
Anyway, so Rhysand is there. He shows up. He's like, what are you fucking doing? She's like, the guards told me I had to do this. And Rhysand was like, eventually Rhysand is like, there will be no more of this. But in the meantime, she was like, if you're so powerful, I thought Amarantha took your powers away.
And he's like, oh, this is just a nugget
of what I'm capable of, which is like so hot.
But then you go, is it? Or is this you saying it grows like 5 more inches?
Yeah.
It grows like a centimeter. But
speaking of growing 5 more inches, he pops out his wings a little bit.
Ugh. Yeah,
she's like, she sees like the top of the wing where there's the little hook at the top of the wing.
Was it just a shadow on the bat?
No, it was a hook at the top of the wing. So at the top of because they're like bat wings, and at the top of the bat wing there's a hook. Anywho, so he like flexes. He shows her like just the tip.
That's a guy. That's the fairy equivalent of making your pecs dance.
Yeah,
he just pops out his fucking wings.
Into it. Anywho, so
those thin ball skin bat wings.
And he was like, "Why?" And Feyre straight up asks him. She goes, "What's the answer to the riddle?" He's like, huh, "You think I can tell you? We've been from telling you."
It feels like it's the same thing as how Alice was like, "There's more, but I can't tell." Like it's like a spell. Like it's like a, or I guess they couldn't tell. It was the "I love you" thing.
Yeah.
Like how they just were like bound to not tell her.
Yeah. So he can't tell her, but he was also like, mad respect for like just straight up asking. He like loves her. Like he respects her so much. Like everything he does, he's always like, tip of the hat, milady, tip of the hat.
I do picture him in a hat, even though I know he's not.
Oh, he's so hot. I'm so into him.
He's such a...
And then he uses his magic and separates the lentils from the ashes, which is what the fucking Autumn Court bitch could have done, is just fix the situation.
Done the thing. And then, by the way, when the guards come get her, they're like, there will be no fucking more.
He's like, no more of this shit, you guys. He's like, don't fucking touch her.
It is interesting to me that I'm like, I understand he's Amarantha's whore. He's got a lot of authority.
Yeah. That's how good his dick is. He's fucking her so good. He's been fucking her for centuries at this point.
50 years at least.
50 years of fucking.
And it's still so good that he's like, you're allowed to like discipline people.
He's got her dick whipped.
It's the stepdad who's allowed to beat the kid.
Yeah. Just like whatever you want, daddy. Stepdaddy.
Yeah. Or whatever he says, because he makes me squirt.
Squirt. Amaranth is a squirter for sure.
Oh, yeah. Probably squirts blood. That's
yeah, for sure squirts blood.
Not blood, just poison. Like those little dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's her pussy.
What are those dinosaurs called again?
It's like something with a D.
Dilapasquirtosaurus.
Dilapasquirtosaurus. I think that is what it is.
That is what I call my pussy. The Dilapasquirt. It's dilapidated squirtosaurus.
I bet her pussy looks just like that.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes and everything. It's just other humans' eyes.
And he just dives in like it's the worm. Yeah, she is for sure has a roomy pussy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where she keeps all of her
Keeps all the
spells.
evil. So that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got 2 episodes left after this.
2 episoes left. In the next episode, 1 more task. And then in the final episode, the final task.
And we shall see what happens.
Well, let's see.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been another delightful episode of Two Filthy Nerds. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe wherever you're listening or watching and leave us a nice rating or review. To see fun clips and interact with us, please follow the podcast on Instagram at Two Filthy Nerds, and you can follow the hosts at Nicole Amy and JMS Comedy. Thanks for listening, nerds. See you out there.